Hello, hello, my sweet soul sisters and brothers. Mindy Arbuckle here today to just have a conversation with you about these amazing women that I speak with every week. And I think men probably feel this way as well. One of the things we've talked about recently is how we all have so many blessings in our lives, and we kind of feel guilty about wanting more or feeling like, no, I don't want to, it's hard to take that next step into your own divine abundance and into your own sense of amazingness and limitless potential. Okay. Now, the thing that I've come across recently, and honestly, not just recently, but it's been very prevalent in the last couple of weeks, is feeling as if, God, I'm a positive person. I'm so happy. And like that's my job, is to really lift people up. That's what they expect out of me. And yet I'm feeling so exhausted by this job. And the really shitty thing about it is that you know that this is you, and somehow it's wearing you out. It's absolutely exhausting you to be so happy all the time. And you wonder why. Why can't I just be that joyful, happy person that I was always before this? What's happened? What's changed for me? And I can relate to this. I've been there myself. I am a happy, positive, energetic person. And yet sometimes life weighs on you and you're not sure what's going on. So, the number one thing that is usually happening is that something's shifted in your life and you haven't quite been able to maneuver it into full acceptance. Like sometimes having a baby can really mess with your system. Has anybody ever been there? I mean, maybe your kids are older now, but do you remember when you first had your first baby? Or sometimes it's not the first one, but the second or the third one that really wears you out. Maybe you're just not sleeping really well because of a new baby, or maybe because of some stress and an additional stress at work. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big life changing thing to really start wearing on your system. So recognize, okay, you are a positive person. However, at this moment in time, a lot of your energy is being pulled in a different direction, and you don't have the same amount of verve to be able to put into that energy of uplifting others. Most likely, whatever is going on in your life, you're probably not taking very good care of yourself. And this is usually the overarching, the umbrella energy that goes on when you're a happy person, but you're feeling exhausted by it, positively exhausted, is because you're not nurturing yourself. You're not loving on yourself. You're not accepting who you are fully. You're being too hard on yourself. You know, the gremlins in your mind are talking to you louder than the angels and the blessings and the sweet soul self. Okay? That right there is your number one problem. I will almost guarantee it, is that you've forgotten to really truly love and nurture and care for yourself. So many women I know, so many people I know, men and women, are good caretakers, and they love to take care of their families and their friends, and they're the problem solvers and they're the fixers. But it exhausts you to be that way. It's so bleh, because you're not taking care of yourself at the same time. It's easy for most of us to be able to really see what's going on in the world and be able to lay it out and say, this is exactly what's going on. But when we look at ourselves, it's a lot harder to do that. You don't take your own advice very well. Okay. So today I want to give you 3 tools that you can use to really up level your life and to really start making yourself a priority again so that your positive energy doesn't continue to wear you out. If this sounds at all like you, I just want to invite you to schedule a talk with me. This is exactly what I work with. These are the exact kind of women that I work with, about getting their life back on track so that they feel clear and strong and confident and ready to take on the next big adventure, whatever that is, and get you unstuck from this feeling of lethargy and exhaustion. Okay, so if you want to schedule that, it's just mindyarbuckle.com/talk. Right now, the first thing, if you find yourself positively exhausted, is to just take a moment to stop what you're doing and take a few deep breaths. I know this sounds so simple, and really, truly, it is simple, but it is also very potent, very powerful for you to get yourself back into this moment. That's what's going on, is that something is either pulling you back into a memory of the past, or something is pulling you forward into a worry of the future. And you don't have to worry about either of those at this moment. The present moment is what's happening right now. So let's get real with the present moment by taking a couple deep breaths. Let's go ahead and just take a deep breath together. Maybe one more. And already you're starting to find your way back into this present moment experience, back into your place of potency, of power, of verve, of energy, of life. Because when you're worried about the past or you're worried about the future, you're never going to be able to really fully nurture yourself here in this present. Okay, the next thing is that when you are feeling positively exhausted, I want to ask you to notice what is going on inside your mind. What are you telling yourself right now? Are you wearing yourself out by saying, why me? Why do I always have to be the one to fix everybody's problems? Why does it always have to come down to me? Or is it, I just don't have enough energy to do this. I can't do this. I can't keep going on this way. How positive or negative are you feeling in your mind? Okay, because a lot of times when we are feeling exhausted, the gremlins in our minds, the small human self, the ego self, is the one that's talking to you, not your spirit divine self. Okay, when you are in that feeling of feeling exhausted and you're trying to just pull it all together to be positive for somebody, notice the thoughts in your mind, because the thoughts become things. Nothing starts unless it begins with a thought. Nothing that has ever been created by humans on earth has ever been created without it being a thought first. Our thoughts do have energy to them. And so watch what thoughts are going on in your mind, because those thoughts will move you into a downward spiral of exhaustion, of frustration, of anxiety, of worry, of stress, of anger. Or your thoughts can also spiral you up to courage and confidence and enthusiasm, feeling aligned, feeling spiritual, feeling love. All these things can also spiral you up. It's the quality of our thoughts and our minds that will either continue to perpetuate our exhaustion or to help raise us gently out of it. All right, and the number 3 thing is I want you to choose. Once you've noticed what's in your mind, you are the only person in the world who gets to choose who shows up. Do you want to show up as your superhero or your supervillain? Do you want to show up as your divine, authentic self? Or do you want to show up as the person who feels like they have to hide and mask themselves just to be accepted by their colleagues, by their friends, by their book clubs, whatever it is, whoever you're going to meet with? You get to choose. Will you show up as your bright, brilliant self? Or will you show up hidden, shrouded, and masqueraded as something that you are not? Because I can tell you honestly that when you are feeling like you show up but you can't be yourself, that will wear you out just about faster than anything else. You've got to love and appreciate yourself enough to know that all the people that are around you, they want you. They may not always know that they want you. I can attest to this from my own experience, but yet you have a set of gifts. You have a light that only you can shine in a way that only you can show up and shine it. You have a gift that only you can give to the world in the unique way that you give it. And it is your dharma, your divine purpose to do that, to no longer hide who you really are. You don't also have to overwhelm people with who you are, but you don't need to hide it. The sun doesn't hide its light from anyone. You shine brightly and brilliantly. If somebody wants to cover up from the sun and put on a sun hat, more power to them. You don't need to diminish your light for anyone, so you get to choose. Are you going to show up as yourself, as your superhero, as your superstar, or are you going to show up as a light that's been covered and exhausted and worn out and doesn't trust herself or himself? It's your choice. Your supervillain will win if you don't make this choice. Okay? It's as simple as that. The ego is so freaking used to being in power. It's going to take that hands down. We've been so conditioned as humans to be negatively focused. Like 100,000 times we've been told no by the time we reach the age of 18. Okay? We've been conditioned to say no, to keep our light dim, to show up as what everybody else wants us to show up as. But that is not who you are. You are freaking awesome. You are that positive light you know yourself to be. And that's who you get to choose to show up as, because that is your dharma. That is your authentic nature. Not because you're trying, but because you are. You are ready. You're ready to be this courageous, bold, brilliant light. And even if it's just baby steps getting into it, that's fine. Know that you are so worthy. Know that you are loved. You are love, and you are never alone, ever. I'm here for you like this. And if you want more support from me, oh my God, I would love to do that for you. It's my job to help uplift people, to get them aligned with their dharma, their purpose, their divine mission, and to really launch their lives and their careers forward into abundance and love and joy. Okay? Again, if you want to do that with me, I really encourage you to just set up an appointment. It's totally free. There's no obligations, and I'm here to serve you. Whether you decide to join my program or not, it's not about me. It is all about you. MindyArbuckle.com/talk. And it's so great. It is so great to be here with you. It is so wonderful to be able to interact with you in this way. And I really just want to share my love and my gratitude with you. I hope you have a blessed weekend, a blessed and grateful weekend. Talk to y'all next week.